Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, addicts of all ages, welcome to Canadian Sober, eh? I'm your resident alcoholic, Dougie Fresh. So glad you're with us. This, in my opinion, is a very, very special episode of Canadian Sober, eh? When I first came into the recovery rooms, I met a gentleman that was around the same age as me. He was coming to meetings with me. Um, but certain circumstances and life happens, and we find it hard to stay sober, and we find it hard to walk this journey and walk this way of life. And I've always have appreciated this gentleman's shares. I love this gentleman like a brother. And I'm so blessed that a few months ago he celebrated a year of continuous sobriety, and I literally like had tears coming from my eyes when he did it, because this is how much this guy means to me. So I know he's loved within our community. I know he's loved within his family. Let's show him some big Canadian Sober A love here tonight. Scottie Fish, how you doing today, brother?
Hey, how's it going, eh?
Oh, I'm freaking sweet. Well, it's been a troubling week. It's been a troubling week, but we go through those kind of things.
Yes.
But Scotty, why don't you let the people who have no idea who you are, why don't you let why don't you give them a little bit of experience, strength, and hope?
Oh boy, aren't they in for a treat? Hi guys, my name is Scottie Fish. Some people know me as Scott Fish as a professional name, but it's been an experience for me, and I'm grateful for you guys, Leanne, Doug. Thank you very much for allowing me 15 minutes to share what I kind of remember of my issue with alcohol and how it pertains to me. And it started for me at a young age, quite young, and it was your typical at our cottage, and everybody would give the kid a sip of beer or whatnot, and I couldn't tell you exactly how old I was, but I could tell you I was pretty young. And I recall the first instance where I actually felt the alcohol start to take a control of my thoughts and just my aspirations was a wedding. I was about 13, and it was one of my brother's friends' weddings, and they put all the bottles of wine on the table. And I ended up with about 17 bottles of wine. I was peeling them off the table one at a time. Nobody was the wiser. I hid them in the back of my dad's vehicle. And I remember coming home and going downstairs and turning on, I don't know, a video game. And I drank probably 3 or 4 bottles of wine in less than 20 minutes. And within 30 minutes, I felt it. I felt warm. It was such a feeling. Then I passed out, woke up, felt like crap. And that feeling lasted almost 30 years. Um, and honestly, I know a lot of people have these stories, and I was starting to feel ashamed, um, just being in my own skin. And I think I coined the token phrase that you drink like a fish. If you've heard that, you know where it came from. And it was funny at the time, but now it's not so funny. Um, it's something that I have to live with and bear, and I can carry my own cross. It's it's a pleasure to be a part of a community, and programs that are all over the world, literally, and to share my experiences. I kind of hit rock. I didn't really hit rock bottom, but I set up a camp there and then called it home for a while. And I just couldn't lift myself up. And a lot of my quote unquote issues spawned from, grief and unhealed traumas. I I hold a heavy heart a lot of the times, and I call it the Robin Williams syndrome. And it's putting on a facade for a long time, and hurt and pain. And I hear all these people, a lot of people, all these people. It's like I'm famous or something. Look at me, here I am. I put these people above me, and I look up to them. And there's a saying that we use quite a bit, and it's called. They say keep coming back. And quitting has never been my thing, but quitting drinking was and is the best decision that I've ever made. Because I was too drunk at the time to make my own, and to rebuild a life after being so public with my sobriety journey. there was there was a lot of stories, and honestly, I can't truly remember them. There's been a lot of issues um, with alcohol when it comes to personal injuries, head injuries, traumas, and I push through every day. It's challenging. It's challenging to say the least, to pull yourself together and then to look at these people who followed my journey. And there's people I don't even know. And it's inspiring to them. Sure, it might hurt my view, I guess, that people have of me, or the view that I portray. Um, but let me tell you, if you keep going and you keep drinking, it's a poison, obviously, or some people are allergic. However they want to frame it. At the end of the day, it's going to take everything out of you. Um, Sorry. I get these waves of emotion now because 1 year for me was probably um, the hardest, but the most beneficial thing I've ever done. Although, I have some physical ailments right now, and just showing up and being authentic is sort of the road that I'm being guided towards. And having a sponsor and having a mentor and doing these things, it really lifts you up. And I look at everybody at some of our meetings and through the groups that I'm a part of, and it's very humbling, and it's hard to grasp the fact that some people actually live because of what you guys are doing and what Doug does. What I mean, I don't want to say me, but I've done myself. Doug has nailed it on the head, because when we go to these meetings and you feel the love that enters the room, it's it's so profound that it it'll bring you to your knees. And sometimes you just have to surrender, and you have to allow people like us into your life, because we do care and we have nothing but love. We don't want anything from you. We want to see you succeed. We want to see you enjoy the things that you have. Like when I walk into a meeting and I see the faces, I hug them. We hug. We say I love you. We do some weird stuff. Like Doug and I do our hair together every morning. We have our chats, and it just goes to show that we just love you. And speaking for myself, if I have to go on my experience, I've lost my some people that are very close to me, and my family is some people would say cursed, but I am hoping to change that and allow goodness into my heart and fulfill a prophecy that may have ended multiple times. And it will happen if you keep constantly pushing the limits. It's a crazy world out there. Um, when you're just not afraid to die, and you get this overwhelming sense of pride now in what you have. And I still cry to this day. Here we go. when when I hear people like Doug, or at our meetings or groups, they say they're proud of me, and it's not something that I'm used to. And I've never felt um, in my heart, like I was enough sometimes, and it triggered a lot of things that that can spawn. So every like Doug said, I did make a year, but I mean that year was 10 years almost in the making, and it's constant. It's in and out. It's not listening. It's ego is I can do it myself, and then you get a couple days, and the next thing you know, you think you can change the world, and you know that fades, and people don't care about what you're posting or all the positive things. You could talk all the, pardon me, pardon my language. Oh, Leanne, don't cut that out of there. I was getting on a roll. You can talk all the crap you want online in your social medias, but at the end of the day, we've heard it all. I've said it. Um, we can catch it, and we know the next move. And honestly, it will take everything away from you. You will know that it's just not serving you, and it's one of the only. I think it was Steve-O, funny enough, who said it's one of the only diseases that's curable, and your life will get better afterwards, 100%. And I believe it. I believe in, showing up. Don't be scared. Reach out and talk to somebody. Messenger's easy now. People can get you all over the world. I was up this 400-foot tower in Sarnia, believe it or not, this refinery rig, and I'm getting dinged by other people, and they're saying, "What the hell are you doing up there?" They thought I was hammered. I was just working. It was it was an experience, and certain things when you do things that are out of your comfort zone, it's where you're going to find the most profound experience in your life. Heck, I found Tracy, and you know what? She thinks I'm nuts, and I agree. But we were connected through grief and experiences, and we mesh. And as soon as you find that, you cherish it, and then you get some help, or if you want to call whatever you want to call it, you can call it help, but help sounds too weird. Find faith if you can. If you don't know faith, come to a meeting. We can set you up. And again, we're making recovery cool. We wear our hat backwards. Doug dyes his hair. He looks kind of like a hedgehog, and we make recovery fun. That's all I see is Sonic over there. I'm gonna rub his head tonight, and that's that. I'll tell you how it is. I appreciate it. I'm gonna get cut off here. I talk far too much. I've been working with not waving my hands around so much. So that's one thing that I'm really trying to do. So you take the little things that you've learned, and you put it all together, get a sponsor, get some guidance. Have fun though, and replace that alcohol with something like writing, journaling, exercise. I mean, it looks like I ate 5 cameras. They did say the camera adds 5 pounds, so here we are. I even buttoned up my top button. I am wearing underwear. I swear. This is one of those meetings where you have your collared shirt on and you're in your underwear. It's true. And I appreciate you guys. I love you guys. And honestly, I'm sure you'll find me if you look on social media. I'm trying to do my best to be presentable, to be honest. And I just want to thank you guys immensely for my sobriety, for my journey. It's tough. I know. So take the first step, reach out. I can swear on a stack of Bibles and make a glass eye cry that people will appreciate you more. You'll appreciate yourself more. It took me forever to even look in a mirror. I mean, and that's hard to say because people think I look in the mirror all the time. Most of the time, it's just on my camera making stupid videos, but that's fun and it's easy and it's enjoyable, and that's something I like and I appreciate. And sometimes in my videos, you get a little hint of what it's all about. And I never knew how strong I was until I stopped using liquid courage, and that's okay. So in my drinking days, I was the storm. Now I'm just the calm after the storm for the most part. Unless you ask Tracy, she'll just say I'm nuts. And I hope that shares my experience, strength, and hope. Um, I appreciate you guys a lot, and I owe a lot of people a lot of thanks for my life today. And my life's a lot better than it used to be, and for that I'm thankful. So thank you guys. Appreciate you lots.
Thanks,
Take it away,
Scotty.
God.
Thanks, Scotty.
Yeah.
That was really good. I think a little while ago, Deanne and I made a bet that you would be the first person to cry on a Canadian Sober A. So, Deanne, I think you owe me lunch.
Yeah.
Um, you know,
Yeah.
uh, Scotty, you're the thing I love about you is that you're raw and you're honest, and you don't care, who sees that emotion that comes out of you. It's been a long time, my brother. Like, it's been
Yeah,
a
man.
long time coming, and you've done amazing, and you talked a little bit about that, in the last year and stuff like that. You met a wonderful woman, Tracy. You
It's
guys
hard to be
start
humble sometimes, Doug.
well, yeah, but like, you know what, you've started a side business. You have this thing that you're doing. Tell me how some of these this enterprise, and tell me how some of these other little things that you're doing help keep your mind not occupied on, say, booze or drugs, but keeps your mind occupied on all the good things.
So to answer that question, honestly, I'm very creative. I don't remember anything. I do have some issues involving my brain, but that's okay. It's a good meat machine. To stay on topic here, it's something that I found easy for me is creating things, whether it's finding or whether it's Velvet Hands, which was good, but timing was off with COVID. And then it was the Save a Ginger Foundation. I don't know if you guys knew that one. That was pretty impressive. I couldn't believe the turnout there. It was nuts. I just made it up, and you know what? People show up. And then we had, and then Candles and Cravings and Tracy, and I have a few other things under the Scottie Fish Limited umbrella. But it's creativity, it's passion, and I have a lot of passion for things and seeing people smile. And I remember you came to one of the shows there, and you're like, stop giving stuff away. So it's still a challenge because my heart just says everybody needs this in their life right now. And my goal was to put a candle in every house in Canada. So if I have if I have that, I think I'll be okay. But I'll do it for free if I have to. If you need a candle or anything like that, let me know. Am I allowed to do a plug?
Yeah.
So
Um,
I'm going to edit that out.
no, no.
Okay.
For the people at home that have no idea what Scotty's talking about,
That's not
they have a
uncommon.
they 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 have a him and his fiance have a business called Candles and Cravings, and they do like cookies and like soap
Macarons,
bars
Doug.
and
Macarons.
macarons.
Yeah.
And they were doing a Christmas. They were at a Christmas craft show, and I went to the Christmas craft show and brought all this money with me. I was ready to like spend some money on some of the things that they have, and Scotty kept like putting stuff in my bag, and he's going, "Take this, no, just
Yeah.
try this, take this." And I looked
Oh,
at him and said,
Tracy. Oh, what's she gonna do?
"said
I know.
Scotty, you're not going to make any money if you just keep giving stuff
Yeah.
away for free."
Yeah. She's a lucky
So
girl, that Tracy. She's very lucky. Oh,
man, you got such a big heart. You know, one of the other things that I wanted to touch on a little bit today, speaking of big hearts, is you give back to your community a lot.
yes.
You volunteer your time and your hours, and talk about some of the things that you do to fill the time that you're doing. Some of the things that you give back to. Talk a little bit about that.
Yes, Doug. It started with still doing the first step, and that's admitting that I had a problem and finding somebody that I could admit this problem to. And it led me to the Salvation Army. I spent quite a bit of time with a gentleman named Ed, and Ed was just like a walking angel. He still is. He still is a walking angel. But it led me into the community dinner. So we would host a community dinner once a month, and now there's four, so there's one every week now in Collingwood, and we sort of molded that, and then again COVID happened. So once COVID happened with the Salvation Army, things got a little very tricky, actually, extremely tricky. So we did the food drives and the hamper, and I was filling up. I was filling up shopping carts and just sticking them out in front of Loblaws with a sign saying free food. Everyone thought I was nuts, but that went well. It was kind, and from there it spawned into the mobile soup kitchen, which is massive. And Doug, you know Rhonda and the crew, and oh my God, like it's amazing how how much love there is in our community, especially the ones that are trying. And keep in mind, there's always those that aren't trying and they just gave up, and it's hard to get them to a point to just believe in themselves again because they're so broken, and I can relate to it. So that's where I connect, and using my connections, um, I can have them reach out if need be. So the mobile soup kitchen right now is a great one. If you want to look them up, you can, but they're in the Collingwood and Wasaga Beach area. And if you're on Facebook, you'll see Rhonda Day's name everywhere. I mean, they're saving lives, literally. And I understand that people do get concerned about, the thefts, and there is a lot of it's not so much violent, but it can get to the violence, but the theft and just the look, because I mean, looks can be deceiving at times. I mean, when I was down and out, I always made sure I had something nice on, and I always said, I could be the what did I can't remember. The best part of feeling good is looking good. And I felt like crap. I was probably passed out sometimes, and in the middle of public. It probably wasn't, or on the beach. I spent a lot of time at Sunset Point, and you know what? People would join me there, and people would share their stories, and it takes off. And that's what it's about, is being raw, being vulnerable. First of all, vulnerability is a tough thing to do. And yeah, I might I'm just checking my power here, Doug. I love playing. I'm riding the limits, my friend. We're riding the limits. I use my Johnny Cash is walk the line.
Um, yeah, you spoke a little bit about Rhonda and the soup kitchen. I'm going to get Rhonda on here in the next couple episodes,
Oh,
hopefully.
nice. Don't
Um,
tell her I said anything about her.
no, I won't. There's you brought up an interesting thing that I wasn't planning on asking you, but I'm going to ask you. There's a lot of homelessness starting to accumulate here in Collingwood and Wasaga Beach and surrounding areas. And you mentioned that, there's a lot of people that are just, too down on their luck. Like life just keeps kicking them in the butt every, second. And then, what do we do as addicts? We turn to something that, takes away that a little bit of that pain, that anxiety, that, like whatever it is, takes it away. Um, what do you think? I'm not gonna blow your head up, but if we made Scottie Fish mayor of Collingwood, what do you think we could do to implement to help these people a little more?
Well, Doug, let me tell you this. If Tracy just heard what you said right there, she'd be in this room right now. Same with my mother. So, homelessness has always been one of the key drivers that I focus on the most. And number one is space for these people. And I call them these people. They have names and they are loved immensely, especially by me. I love them to death. But I mean, I was bringing them home and giving them haircuts, giving them clothes. Tracy will not allow me to bring anybody back home anymore. People come home with puppies, and I come home with homeless people. I know, we think it's funny, but sometimes it's really walking the line, like I said. I believe we just have to kind of come together. So at the community meetings and the churches, at the dinners, maybe a speaker or just maybe somebody to promote the programs, the NA, the AA, your SOS group on Saturdays, like promote it, talk about it, and just sort of break that ice. I think it's beneficial. I do notice that some people right now who lack housing, they do try to clean up a little bit. There are areas that were kind of questionable. They will see that, and if they feel inside that they're doing a little bit or trying to have a little bit of integrity, that's your key right there. Is just giving them integrity, saying hello, they'll tell you a story. So they might be high. So, I mean, you just keep your distance a little bit, but still, interact if need be. If don't make eye contact directly, just certain things. They're ashamed sometimes, and feeling less than really doesn't help anybody. So once you can come down to their level, so to speak, give them a hand up to yours, and just make space for them. And if you're open to it, share your heart with them, and they'll definitely remember you.
Yeah, great answer. But I've always felt that, always thought if I was like, say, the mayor of Collingwood or something like that, like I'd give them like jobs, picking up garbage or going and cleaning the parks or going
Absolutely.
and doing all this kind of stuff. Yet we pay these town employees, $40 an hour to
Yeah.
do all this stuff, and then
Yeah.
like you could give them somewhere to stay, and then supplement their wages and give them like say 15-20 bucks an hour to do whatever. Um, Before we sign off here, I know that this past year has been it's been an emotional roller coaster for you, up and down with many things, that's going on. And really quick, we don't have much time, but how much has the support from the community, your fiance, and especially your daughter, and your family members, supported you throughout this last year?
I've never been so proud of my family. As you know, I've lost most of them. A lot of them have passed, and another person had passed. Kale, he was there. I mean, it's tough when you see these people passing, and I'm thinking all the time that I'm the last one. I'll be the only one to watch and bury every single person, and that's a weight to carry. And I'm glad my daughter doesn't have to carry it anymore. My dad's, he hasn't drank in quite some time. My mom's been sober now for almost 3, 4, 5 years, um, and it's keeping her alive. But it's just the shell. It's to get out of the shell and get into your skin and leave your shadow behind. But I'm so proud of everybody in my life and the community. Holy, holy! It's not even this community. I really put in some distance, man. I was all over. I did everything in my power to get here, and I worked hard. And you know what? I am proud of it. But I'm proud of everybody who stayed with me and who's coming back into my life. So
Good.
that answers that. Yeah.
Good, brother. That's
Yeah.
awesome. Awesome job, Scottie. Thank you so much for joining us
Oh,
today on Canadian Sober A. We'll have to have you back. Thanks everybody for tuning in. Hope to see you guys next week for another amazing episode of Canadian Sober A. Scottie Fish,
yes,
Dougie
sir.
Fresh,
Take care.
we're out.
Take care. Comb your hair.